It seems like there's never a dull moment in New York politics. In the blink of an eye, attention turns from generational change at City Hall to the possibility of a high-stakes catfight to guide the ship of state. The Point starts right now. It has been a tumultuous campaign season with more twists and turns than a neurotic pretzel. Here to sort it all out, political consultant O'Brien Murray, he's back, thank God, and professor and political analyst J.C. Polanco. So, guys, we have to start not with the mayor's race, but with the governor's race, because on Friday, Elise Stefanik, wasting no time, decided to announce that she's running for governor against Kathy Hochul. But she could have a primary challenge. Let's talk about first Miss Stefanik, 41 years old. She wants to be a new generation in Albany, sort of like the mayor's race. What's going on?
Hey, she started off heavy-handed, right, to say the least. I mean, she came off running hard the same week as we just ended the general election, just when all the viewers thought we were done. But wait, there's more, right? So she came on and she did exactly what we assumed.
Hard and hot. She came out hot.
And you know what? She immediately connected the governor with Mayor-elect Mamdani, like I told you she would. And she's made a big splash. Now, to the governor's credit, her rebuttal during the kickoff on Friday, I think was very, very efficient, tying Congresswoman Stefanik to President Trump, which by no means is a popular figure in New York.
Obi.
I think it was a great rollout. I'm just so impressed that between Tuesday night, very late, and then what was Friday morning, they produced that video. In such a short amount of time, it was terrific. And got Mamdani in there and so forth. We all know that was done way before, ladies and gentlemen. It was all scripted out there, ready to go. And the rollout has been great so far. And, you know, speaking of any potential primary, when the chairman of the Republican State Party endorses her on the same day she rolls out, I think that really rules out the potential of anybody stepping in at that point.
But even so, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman put out a statement saying he is giving serious, his word, consideration to primarying her. Now, here's the question. Does a Nassau County executive who has the support of Long Island and is also well known in the counties that are north of New York City have a better chance or worse chance against a woman from upstate New York who's not that well known in the New York City area?
Well, we got to remember, Congresswoman Stefanik is a national figure. She's not exactly just somebody out of upstate New York. Right. And she has the support of the President of the United States. And if there is a Republican primary, I bet you my last dollar that President Trump will support Congresswoman Stefanik. He's been with her.
You really think so? Because he also supports Bruce Blakeman.
Because who doesn't like Bruce Blakeman in Nassau County? He won big, he just won big this week. And
so who's the president going to support?
I think at the end of the day, Elise is going to be the nominee. No question about it. I think Bruce has done great things in Nassau County. There's a great future and many things to be done. But I think it also, Bruce is doing a brilliant political thing, too. Keep himself in a name after he just won. So he won on Tuesday decisively in Nassau County. Nassau County is a significant role in the primary or in a general election. It gives him a seat at the table, and he will be very active in this campaign or anything else he does going in the future. There's going to be a Senate race in 2 years for lame duck Chuck. We'll see what happens there in that open seat. There's a lot to be done here for Bruce Blakeman and his future. And Elise.
Look, Executive Blakeman can deliver Long Island. I think that Congresswoman Stefanik may consider him to be the lieutenant governor in this campaign and provide her,
Why would he want to go to be a...
He may not want to.
He has power in Nassau County.
He has power.
Lieutenant governor does nothing.
No, that's not necessarily, not necessarily the case. Not with a Blakeman. Who knows if a Stefanik Blakeman is the ticket for the Republican Party?
Name something that anybody who's been lieutenant governor has done that you remember.
I don't remember.
They got indicted.
Oh, you know what?
Right.
But this may be a first. I'm just thinking that Congresswoman Stefanik is looking at Congressman Zeldin's results just a few years ago. Congressman Zeldin lost by a biscuit, about 3 points. New York is very different. It's more Republican now than it was before.
But Zeldin was from Long Island.
Zeldin started later, had less money. Elise is starting earlier and has more money than Lee did, even in the primary.
And President Trump did better this time around than last. So Congresswoman Stefanik has a lot of good going into this campaign. And I think that she started early, like you just mentioned, Obi. She's in a very good position. She knows that the magic number is 3. If she could get past the 3-point marker, and let's not forget, they're going to tie Governor Hochul to Assemblyman Mamdani. No, what I'm talking about here in New York City, it's going to be very interesting to see how it's
All right, let me ask you this question. So assess the race. Does Elise Stefanik in a blue state, what are her chances of beating Kathy Hochul. What's the over, and under?
She's got a very good chance of pulling us off. I don't hesitate to say we'll be sitting here a week before the election and say it's a toss-up.
It's a little too early to tell. Mayor-elect Mamdani it throws a different calculus into the mix, considering that Governor Hochul supported Mayor-elect Mamdani, who has said some very controversial things that won't bode well in the suburbs of New York. If you consider that Congresswoman Stefanik goes in winning everything outside of a couple of pockets in Rochester and Buffalo and Albany, maybe, it may be very interesting to see how Congresswoman Stefanik positions herself as a moderate moving in, because she is MAGA.
For Elise to win, she has to win Erie County decisively. We're going to be here the weekend before the election, and Kathy Hochul will be at the brand new Buffalo Bills Stadium that she built with everybody in Buffalo and trying to carry Erie County to win this race. It won't even be, New York City plurality is going to be important for her, but Erie County may be the battleground at the end of the day.
But here's the question. So one of the things, let's talk about the strategy. Elise Stefanik is going to try to tie Kathy Hochul to the new mayor-elect right now, but the new mayor of New York City, who is left of center. Is that a winning strategy or not?
Left of center, Marcia? Mayor-elect Mamdani is left of Castro. Look, the truth is that it won't bode well for Governor Hochul to have been connected with Assemblyman Mamdani statewide. It's just not, which is why she has to come out and say, I will not raise taxes. I disagree with the mayor-elect on A, B, C, and D, but that won't stop Congresswoman Stefanik from using that endorsement in every single ad statewide.
The pressure that the members in the Assembly and the Senate are going to feel between now and the next election by the DSA members, if they do not push Hochul to do what at that point Mayor Mamdani wants, will be astronomical. The DSA here is going to be the wild card of what's going to drive the plurality that Hochul needs in New York City, and how far left they're going to push the governor, which Lee Zeldin didn't have that advantage last time. This is a major thing Elise has that Lee didn't have.
Yeah, but here's the question. If Hochul does go far left and listens to the DSA, does that help her or hurt her? It could actually hurt her with the fact that Elise Stefanik is going to try to get the people to see a more conservative.
It will hurt Hochul electorally across the state because it'll benefit Elise, period, end of story. Yeah. What'll happen is Hochul will need it, though, to be able to maintain any kind of control of what goes on in the Senate and the Assembly when she does the budget and when she passes things, when she negotiates things. There's going to be a major issue when we get here to April and see what happens and what leverage they use against Hochul when they threaten every single member they want to go after for the DSA side. We saw it with Hakeem Jeffries out there right now. Who's going to primary Hakeem Jeffries? Nobody now all of a sudden. Oh, but what is Dan Goldman going to face out there now in his primary when you've got Bradlander talking about doing it backed by DSA?
But here's the question. Let's just look at Kathy Hochul, not the other races at this point. So Kathy Hochul has she's got two cards to play. One is the card, what she does in terms of embracing or not embracing the new mayor-elect. What do you think she does in terms of her own race?
She has to move away completely and make pretend she never endorsed him. If you take a look at Congresswoman Stefanik's campaign commercial that she made public on Friday, it tells you everything you're going to see throughout the campaign process, which is connecting Mayor-elect Mamdani and all of the videos he has put out during his rise to power regarding the police, decriminalizing prostitution, regarding the positions on seizing the means of production, and regarding absolutely all of the Marxist things that he has said in the past. Those are going to be tied to the governor. It's going to be hard for her. But this is important now. How does Congresswoman Stefanik become a moderate? Because New York has never elected a conservative Republican, not in any time soon. When you look at Governor Pataki, he was a moderate Republican. Sure. For you to win statewide, you have to appeal to suburban moms, and you have to appeal to Democrats and independents. That's important for Congresswoman Stefanik.
Obi.
The energy she's going to get, at least is going to get, in Nassau and Suffolk and the Hudson Valley, as she goes upstate and takes that, is going to be so significant with everything that she ties Hochul to with Mamdani. The less that Hochul does for Mamdani, the less she has the plurality coming out of New York City, which benefits Elise Stefanik. The governor has such a fine line to walk right now, where she wants their support when she runs, but she can't alienate them between now and then.
So what does she do in terms of the mayor?
She travels as much as she can outside of the state of New York and doesn't have to see anybody. She wants no conversations publicly, doesn't want to talk to any reporter. Every single thing they pass at city council will be, and this mayor is for, the Mayor Mamdani is for, every reporter in town is going to turn to Governor Hochul. Hey, how do you feel about legalized prostitution in New York? Yeah. Holy cow. Well, look at that conversation.
So wait, so she has one more card to play, and that is that she's going to try to tie Elise Stefanik to Donald Trump.
Yes.
how does that work for Governor Hochul?
It was an amazing rebuttal by the governor on Friday when she put out her rebuttal to Congresswoman Stefanik, tying her with President Trump. President Trump is still not popular with New York as a whole. He's popular in pockets, but not as a whole. So if she ties
So that's winning?
So all Governor Hochul has to do is stay on cruise control. She has a majority of the registered voters. If she doesn't raise taxes and if she takes positions that are anti-socialist, she has a good shot of winning in November.
The Trump card.
Governor Hochul is a smart woman, shouldn't be underestimated. Elise Stefanik is a brilliant woman and should definitely not be underestimated in how she can pull this off, because one of the problems that every Republican has, we had this in 2018, Donald Trump's name is not on the ballot to benefit the people that are so pro-Trump and so MAGA they only vote when he's on the ballot. Elise Stefanik might actually be able to motivate them. We already know the anti-Trump forces will come out whether Elise can motivate her people or not. She is one candidate that can actually motivate so many voters that would not normally come out without Donald Trump's name on the ballot, and I give that benefit to her.
We have 15 seconds left. Just quickly, Obi, does this hurt her? Does it hurt Stefanik to be locked in with President Trump?
No.
Yes,
of course it does. In New York, absolutely. She has to come to the middle on a lot of issues, and it means pushing a lot of that MAGA stuff out of the way in order to pick up the 40% she needs out of New York.
She needs the Republican votes plus the independents across the board. Without the Republicans, there's no base.
Out. We'll have to leave it right there for now, but we will be right back. Queens Senator Joseph Addabbo is chairman of the Committee on Racing, Gaming, and Wagering in the Senate, but there's so much going on, and before we talk about all that's going on, I want to talk to you about the latest development, which is that Elise Stefanik, a congressman from upstate, has now decided she's going to run for governor against Kathy Hochul. What's your reaction to that and the potential for a Republican primary if the Nassau County Executive
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting times, Marsha. It is. None of us are elected officials to avoid campaigns or campaigning. This is what we do. This is part of our job. And it gives us an opportunity as elected officials to tell the people what we've done in the past and what our vision is going forward. So it'll be an interesting year in 2026.
Are you anticipating a hotly contested campaign?
Always. I think every elected official should at least prepare for that. And this way, no surprises. But this is a time when people want to hear what you're going to do for us, how you're going to protect our interests with the cuts on the federal level, with recession or whatever it may be. How are you going to make my life better? That's what the elected official's role is, to make their constituents' lives better. And so it'll be interesting times to watch both the governor election and the local elections.
So here's the key question is going to be whether you tax the rich or you don't, and how you come up with money to have an affordability agenda. Do you think there's an appetite in Albany to start taxing the rich?
I think whenever we decide on fiscal situations, it's dropping a pebble in a pond, and there's a ripple effect, and we have to weigh those ripple effects, and that's what the budget process is for. So we'll have those kind of negotiations and debates, and we'll hear from our people how they want us to move forward. And it's going to be interesting. Like I said, even a budgetary process will be very interesting.
The reason I'm asking that question is because Elise Stefanik is going to run as the Republican and may have a contender in the primary. Both of them are going to use, if there are two people, are going to say that we shouldn't be taxing the rich. So will Kathy Hochul's position on that have to change or go more conservative, given the fact that she's going to have one or two challengers that are going to challenge her on that issue?
I think it's going to be a matter of options, for revenue. Certainly, as we face a multi-billion-dollar cut on the federal level, I think it's going to see what the realistic options are. If you're going to say no to one thing, give me an option that's better. Not just say, no, we're not going to do this. What do you have as an option? What is your views? What is your vision? I think that's going to be critically important, and then people are going to make a decision in the end based on their own life. My constituents make a decision, even locally in elections, based on how their lives are affected and what candidate, what incumbent is going to make their lives better going forward.
So let's switch to why you actually came here, which is to talk about casino gambling. When we started this process of bidding, there were a lot of bids. A lot of people said they wanted to get build casinos throughout the 5 boroughs. There are 3 licenses that are available for downstate, and now there are only 3 people who are still in the race. Does that necessarily mean that these 3 companies will get the license?
That remains to be seen. It's simple math, right? 3 left standing, 3 licenses, but it is up to the citing board to make the decision by or around December 1st, and then the Gaming Commission to actually award the licenses by December 31st. And so we will see. These 3 remaining have gone through everything that we have asked for. They have survived the local vote, the CAC, Community Advisory Council vote. So we shall see.
So why do we need 3 casinos in New York City?
Do we need? Many people argue no. We statutorily did this in 2013. We created 7 licenses. We started with the 4 upstate licenses. That left 3 remaining. We have a monumental decision to make here. It is really, we're not doing this again in any foreseeable time future. But these 3 licenses do represent thousands upon thousands, roughly 25,000 construction jobs, roughly 15,000 post-construction jobs. And these aren't just jobs, these are careers that you can, basically support a family for the foreseeable future. This is billions of dollars for education. Roughly, the gaming industry in New York gives roughly $4 billion every year to education, thereabouts. So we have another opportunity here of creating another $3 billion through these 3 licenses going forward. And let's not forget the MTA. The MTA does make out on this.
How?
The initial license fees, which are roughly minimally $500 million,
right,
times 3, that's $1.5 billion minimally. That automatically goes to the MTA.
1.5 billion goes to the
right,
MTA?
over a year's worth of congestion pricing. Exactly, Marcia. Exactly.
Why do we need congestion
exactly.
pricing?
That's a great point. I wish somebody was listening. The idea is we do get $1.5 billion to the MTA.
So we should get rid of congestion pricing.
Say it a little louder. Maybe somebody will hear you. I'm not a fan of congestion pricing. But nevertheless, $1.5 billion to the MTA. And then they get 80% of the tax rate going forward, depending on where the licenses are situated. Going forward, they'll eventually get 80% of the tax rate. That's significant sustainable revenue for the MTA. Not many people know that.
So when you say 80% of the tax revenue, what does that mean exactly?
Of the tax revenue generated by these 3 casinos when they get up and running. Instead of this money coming to the state, only a portion of which will come to the state and go to education.
So 20% goes to education, 80% goes
roughly
to the
80% will go to...
Again, why do we
Not many
need
people know about this,
pricing?
but this is actually written into the statute law.
So why didn't the legislature say to stop congestion pricing if there was going to be this current windfall?
Great question. Again, this is why I always question congestion pricing. Somebody will say to me, well, it's operating and we need expense, or this is expense, we need operating. It's an accounting shift.
Well, let me
it
ask you,
doesn't, to me, can be changed.
Let me interrupt you for a second.
Sure.
So if these licenses are awarded in December, which they're supposed to be,
yes,
when does that $500 million from each company come into our coffers?
It would be the fiscal year next year, this coming year, 26, right? So it'll be that fiscal year budget.
There are a lot of angry people who are going to say to you, cut congestion pricing.
Say something to the powers that be. Say
I'm
something
not
to
saying anything to
No,
the
I'm just saying that is something
you're a lawmaker.
No, that is something that we will bring up. And
are
again,
you going to bring it up?
I'd love to bring it up, given the opportunity during the budget process. Yes.
I mean, you have a situation where people don't really like paying congestion pricing, and now the MTA is going to get this huge windfall. $1.5 billion, really?
That's a one-shot. The $1.5 billion is a one-shot, but the 80% going forward, right?
So you're not a happy camper when you take a look at those numbers, right?
I'm a realist. And, it's tough to take something down like the congestion pricing once it's already put in place. But this is a conversation that we'll have with the governor's administration, with my leadership as well.
Well, on that note, we're going to leave it right there. But our conversation continues right after the show on our streaming channel, CBS News New York. Thank you for joining me. On January 1st, a certain Queens Assemblyman will move into Gracie Mansion with a lot of promises to keep. How do New Yorkers feel about the changing of the guard? They're weighing in on your point. Sir, Mamdani is going to be the next mayor. Are you surprised?
Yes and no.
I am surprised, but not sad.
Surprised very much.
No, I'm not surprised.
No, I'm thrilled.
All the poll information indicated he would trounce everybody.
I felt like he had all the momentum, pulled off almost an impossible task, but he did it.
The numbers showed that that was going to happen. I sort of braced myself.
So, are you bracing yourself?
Yeah.
Needed a change.
I think people are just ready for something new, something different.
So what do you think about a Mayor Mamdani?
I think it's fantastic.
I think it's going to be a really interesting 4 years for our city.
I wish he was a little older. I wish he had a little more experience.
I did not vote for him, but I listened to his victory speech, and what he said struck me.
I just watch and just see what happened.
Well, he's very ambitious. I'm thinking he's thinking of becoming the president.
He'll be okay. Give the young folks a chance.
You think he's going to be a good mayor?
I hope he will be. I hope.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed and trying to be open-minded.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I believe in him.
He's young and full of good intentions, and then he has to run New York City. That's something different.
He's going to be a fabulous mayor.
Yes, he's going to be a great mayor.
I think so. I do. I really think so. I think he's young. But, you know, we have young people running lots of places these days.
I don't think so, no. He promised so many things, which is I'm sorry to say the word.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, like free buses, you know, housing and all that. Promises.
I'm excited. You know, I think we still need to hold everybody accountable to the promises that were made on the campaign trail. But if he puts action to those words, then that's what's exciting.
So what's the first thing you want him to tackle?
To tackle housing.
The homeless population and some more affordable housing.
I think the child care and affordability. Come on, we all need the affordability.
Homelessness and crime.
A better working relationship with the federal government.
I want to make sure that the police are not being defunded. I would like to make sure the police are not to be defunded because they're doing a great job.
Affordability in the city. I mean, that's just kind of the major thing that everyone can agree upon right now, in my opinion.
I feel like while we are a city that's full of light and full of beauty, there's so much hate against each other. I feel like bringing everyone together is something that's truly important, and I think he will make that change happen.